John, so I've been married for a little more than a year now, and there's a lot that people don't tell you.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rest Up Podcast. I think it'll be episode 30. Thank you guys so much for the continuous support and just being a part of the family. Today, we're going to be breaking down Coop's marriage. All right, Coop, welcome back, brother. How you been?
Man, all good things.
All right, so how long have you and your wife been married?
A year and 2 months now.
A year and 2 months.
That's 3 months.
That's crazy. About to be 3 months? Wow, about to be 3 months. That's crazy. So, what's that like living with someone now?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it was very different because I was off in college when that was the first time I guess technically lived on my own, and a lot of different things. You got to provide food for yourself. You got to clean up after yourself. You got to do your own laundry, all these other things. So I had a little bit of experience, like 6 months in college when I was away, and then I got paired up with a roommate, but living on my own was very different. It was sometimes it'd be lonely, but a lot of times it was nice. Then moving in with somebody, getting married, it's a lot of different. You have to hear their point of view and understand their perspective and think. It really shows you how selfish you are. Is I guess the best way to describe it. In the way like, hey, I want to go do this now. I want to go for a walk now, but she doesn't. So do I go by myself or do I say, hey, come with me? Or it's a lot of thinking about what does my wife think about this and how can I help her out?
Okay. What has been like, what's been the biggest, I guess, eye-opener for you?
Great one. Communication is the biggest thing ever in a marriage / relationship / anything. Whether it's friendship or marriage. And I know everyone says communication, but that fully open communication where I'm sharing my heart, I'm sharing how this felt, and you guys have to have that space as well to be open and not be like getting all emotional and being offended by what. So for instance, I guess we can role play.
Okay.
If you want to do that. So you'll be Ariana,
right.
I'll be myself. I don't know, say you yelled at me or something, or you hurt my feelings, whatever.
Coop, what the heck are you doing? No, I'm just playing.
I'm like, hey, Ariana, this really hurt my feelings. Why did you say it like that? And from there's two options. You can feel hurt from it and kind of lash back and say, well, why did you do like that? But that's not going to solve anything. That's going to cause more anger to arise and put more fuel to the fire. Or you could be like, hey, this is why I did it. Here's what I felt. And it's really all about that open personality of not personality, but openness and saying, how do I explain this? Having that kind of circle of just being able to not be offended and strike back and have, out of my defense mechanism of being hurt, you're going to be hurt with me, kind of per se.
Okay. What is like one of the best moments you had, like so far, if you don't mind talking about it? Like, there's one that's just like, you're like, wow, I really have everything that I want kind of thing, you know?
I can't even really just put it into one specific instance. I could tell you one. I mean, our 1 year anniversary, we're in San Diego, and I'm a pilot, so I love traveling and seeing the rest of the world. And I told my wife, I'm like, I would love to just work all the time and just have only 2 or 3 days off. If you could just come fly with me and just sit in the back. Like, you're the only person why I want to come home and hang out and spend time with. But other than that, I could just keep working, and it's great, my job. But talking about marriage, we were over in San Diego for about a week on our 1 year anniversary, and just being able to explore with her, wake up with her, and everything just felt so natural, I guess is the right way to put it. It just felt like this is where it's supposed to be. This is where it's meant to be, and I'm just learning and growing with her and spending time with her. It kind of just really felt like we're going back to the Garden of Eden, and this is how God wants it.
No, that's fire. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Do you feel like faith has played a role in the success of your marriage?
Yeah, so I was actually 2 days ago, I was talking to Ariana on the phone, and I was talking about, when you think about an art project with the craft foam, the white piece of foam together, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
My
Think
fault.
think about a piece of paper.
Okay. Yeah.
Every human is a piece of paper. Okay, I'm a piece
Yeah.
of paper. You're a piece of paper. Ariana, every single person's a piece of paper. God is the glue. So if we just stick two pieces of paper together, what's going to happen?
It's gonna be gross, messy.
Gravity's going to pull it apart, right? It's going to fall down. It's not going to go anywhere. If you put them together, right? Do you see what I'm saying with this or no?
Well, but you have glue. That's why I'm confused.
We don't have glue yet.
Oh, you don't have glue. You just have two pieces of paper
coming together.
Yeah. They would fall. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how I see a relationship without the Lord, or a marriage without the Lord. Excuse me. They're just going to fall down. But if we put God in the mix, even when the world starts to bring us apart a little bit, we put more glue down, bring God more in the situation, we're back together.
I like that. That's a good analogy for it. That's a great analogy for it.
Well, John, let's take the hot seat off of me and we'll put it on you. You've been dating Mystery for how long?
3 years and like 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been crazy, dude. Honestly, we've gotten, I don't know, so close in our relationship, like all around that. There's some days that I'm like, dude, like we're already married. You know what I mean, though? Like it's like you get to that dating phase and you're like, yeah, this is the one I'm gonna marry. Like I totally wholeheartedly plan on it. Now, that doesn't mean you can go out and do whatever you want, but like at the end of the day, I feel like just how we are together as a unit is what the world would call marriage. And then biblically, I feel like we're on track to make that, commitment with the Lord. I mean, full time. And then, all the other things after you make that commitment with the Lord come into place.
No, exactly. That's awesome. So what the world would tell us Christian guys is, why are we marrying and then having intimacy?
The other thing?
Why exactly? Why are we doing it backwards? And because the world would say, hey, you need to understand and get to know your wife fully before you get married to her, because to make sure she's the right woman, right? That's what the world would say.
Yeah, I mean that's what the world would say, because their religion is feelings. Like they put their faith in their feelings instead of actually putting faith in what's real, what is fruitful, what is life, what is just positive. Because the thing is with people like that, since their feelings are truly like their internal idol, that's their internal religion. If they're not feeling good about something, they're going to hate on it. But if they don't even understand it, Cooper, how are they supposed to have truly an opinion on it?
No, it's a word.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a word, and I think that's where judging comes from too.
Mm-hmm.
You see something, you're like, what is that? Why would they do that? And then
Yeah, I mean, we all internally judge. Like, if let's say you're leaving the airport late at night,
okay,
and you want to go get a snack at the gas station. If there's a gas station that looks like sketchy or somewhere you don't feel comfortable going, you're not going to go. But that's, assessing how safe you are. But judging, truly, like, judging is like, oh, Coop's a sinner? Wow. I would never talk to one. Kind of thing, like looking down instead of like assessing where you are and is this a situation that is comfortable for you?
I do. That makes total sense.
What is there? I know this is gonna be kind of personal, but I am curious. Is there like a prayer that you and Ariana have that you feel like honestly like helps your relationship? Because I feel like not enough couples pray together. And Mystery, throwing you under the bus with me, but we're not always the best at that. And sometimes it just feels like sometimes it just feels awkward. Like, what are some of the things that you do to break that awkwardness and you just, let's pray together?
Yeah, the thing is, Ariana and I are both awkward people. We can both be awkward, so it works out good.
Well, that's good.
But what really holds me accountable, and again, I'm the same way. I don't pray every single day with Ariana, and I need to because the stat shows you pray once.
Couple pray together, stay together.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
It's like 0.000 something.
Is it just praying or is it regularly praying?
Praying once a day.
Once a day together?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's insane.
Oh yeah, we got to start doing that more. We'll make a pact to it right now on the show.
So even when I'm gone or she's gone, we need to call, and whether minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, just talk together. And again, it's that love triangle. Me, Ariana, the Lord. The closer we get to the Lord, the closer together we're gonna get.
Yeah. Because the goal in a wife is like, they're supposed to be your best friend. They're supposed to be, your partner in crime, so to speak. Like they're supposed to be your, how a lot of people say it's a rib?
A rib?
Yeah, like your rib, like she's my rib or whatever. I feel like it's more than that. I definitely feel like it's half. Like that one rib is far more important than people talk about because, we have so many ribs and I feel like people can dismiss it, when they think about it just as a rib. But I truly think it is our other half.
Well, for sure. I mean, there's stuff that we are more better at and stuff women are more better at. And not.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd like, we can bring them on the show one time and have them talk more about their strengths and weaknesses
yeah.
and how they see it as a woman's side. But like being that leader, being that kind of hero and just wanting to protect, wanting to provide. Theirs is more keeping the house clean, looking pretty, being the female lady who's really supporting.
And I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but like one of the things I would say too is I feel like in the house, there's certain jobs that you might like to do, and then there's jobs that she might like to do. Because I know you brought up cleaning, and I'm only going to say this because ours is specifically different. So Mystery enjoys cooking. I don't enjoy cooking. So what I do to, try to even it out to be, fair and just, I'll do all the cleaning, like the kitchen and stuff, and she does all the cooking. And, there's some days that it's vice versa, but, those are kind of little compromises that we do that I think are super beneficial. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier about communicating those things, that it's important.
No, for sure. In a household sense, I think about if it was just me living on my own, how different my house would look.
Oh, it would.
How ugly it would look. And just black walls. I'm over-exaggerating, but just how it wouldn't be beautiful and it wouldn't have that female touch in it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, and you know what? It's kind of nice to know that you have someone that, when they take care of something like that, you're like, wow, that's nice. That's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The older that I get with Mystery, the more I appreciate the little things.
I mean, you call it a unit for a reason. You bring your strengths. You also bring your weaknesses. She brings her strengths and the weaknesses, and
yeah, the goal is to help each other tackle the weaknesses. I feel like that's not, honestly, that's another thing that's not talked about enough. It's not one person that's supposed to be saving you. Y'all are supposed to save each other. I feel like there's so many relationships out there. As soon as one thing is difficult or challenging or a barrier or something, most people just want to give up and go to the next person.
Yeah. No,
and I'm like, do you really value it? Because like, of course you've had struggles, I've had struggles, and the fact that they're there and they're understanding and they have grace and they want us to grow from it, it's truly unimaginable because not a lot of people are like that.
Yeah. Marriage is one of the best ways we can honor Christ and look most like him, and sticking it out 100 years, your whole marriage, and not giving up and giving each other grace, and just like he gave us grace.
I tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Sorry. I can't tell you yet what that's like, but, could be soon. Could be soon.
Could be.
Could be. I don't know.
Mister gonna watch?
Probably not. That's probably why I'm okay with saying it. But you never know with Mystery, bro. She could be out of nowhere, I'll get that was a good podcast. And I'll be like, yo, you watch these? So, you never know. But, what are actually, Coop, what are some of the things that you look for? Like, how do you find, I know this is another hard question, but like, how do you find love in the hard times?
Oh, that is a tough one, actually.
Yeah.
I think it all goes back to what you were talking about, how it is a choice and it's not just a feeling. And there's times where you just want to do something different, or I want to go cook, but Ariana really needs some, hey, I love you and I'm here for you time. So it's all about killing your flesh in the moment and saying, hey, I need to not be the selfish person that I'm being right now. I want to go work out, but hey, what's more important? Because the order is supposed to be God and then my wife and then XYZ, whatever's next.
What about you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But that's the order it should be, and that's how you find love, by when she's having a hard day, and this is going to sound bad, but I'm like, I just want to do my own thing. I just want to go, and I want to go to the gym, or I want to do something, and it seems like I'm being held back from it. No, that's not. You kill your flesh. That's your flesh talking in the moment. And maybe you're believing it, and maybe you're saying, okay, I do believe a little bit of that, and I just want to go do my own thing. But when you said your vows and you committed to the wedding ring, it's a lifetime thing, and it's a lifetime commitment to putting my wife second under the Lord. So it's all about that.
Now, do you think that you have her second, like we're second, to God, like I am second, you've heard that phrase. Do you think that equals a healthy relationship?
Putting Ariana second?
Mm-hmm.
Putting my wife second?
Yeah.
Versus what?
Putting her first, like on the
I
top.
see what you're saying. Yeah, because I mean, in secular relationships, I was going to say they would be number one, but they really probably aren't number one. And I notice how often I put my wife at the number 3 or number 4 slot and stick something else subconsciously up higher than it really where it should be. But I think that's so important because the Bible talks about marriage so much and how serious it is, and how God doesn't like divorce. He only approves divorce in a couple situations, abuse or cheating.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's not approved. And he doesn't not going to hold your hand and force you to do it, as God doesn't do, but he's going to not approve of that. It's a sin.
Yeah, it's even crazier to think about how it's even in the Old Testament.
True.
It used to be a lot of work, but it was possible. It was possible.
I'm sorry, I'm going around. What's your question though?
How do you love your spouse on the hard days?
I see. Okay. I think we have to always understand our relationship with the Lord and see that he loved us, really, to go back to that question. He loved us on the hard days, and he pulled us out of the pit of hell and scooped us up, set our feet on solid ground, and said, I'm here for you, and I'm going to walk with you the rest of my life and the rest of your life. And that outflow of the Holy Spirit pouring into you allows that to happen.
No, that's good. Oh, I got another good one. So, obviously, you guys have cultural differences. I do in mine and my relationship. What are there some things that you're just like, no? Or like, how do you maneuver around the cultural differences per se? Like, is there something that you feel that's like kind of taboo here, but it's like normal in that culture?
I don't know a ton about Puerto Rico. I went there on our honeymoon. It was 4 days, 3 days, barely got any sleep. It was all running around and going to see the El Yunque and going on a ferry to one of the islands out there. Snake Island, I think it was called. Something like that.
Oh, word?
No snakes on there.
What?
It was super cool.
But it was called Snake Island? All right, that's a story for another day. But go on. Yeah, sorry, Coop. Go ahead.
We'll be able to tell it better. But no, actually, I don't know if there are a lot of differences. I mean, other than the obvious of speaking Spanish, and that's opened a whole different can of worms. But no, there's not a lot of differences that I'm like, hey, no, I don't like that, or no. But I think it all boils down to, is it biblical? And is what we're doing biblical? What we're saying biblical to each other? And if it's not, she's better at this than me, but opening up to me and say, hey, honey, this really hurt me, what you said, or this, I didn't really like this, or she's really good at that. I've been starting to do better at saying, hey, we need to talk about this, but she's really open and being able to say, hey, this didn't work, or I didn't like that.
Yeah, and it's not in a way that's like forceful or anything. It's just, hey, Coop.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you. Oh, that's really good. That's good.
That's good stuff.
Being, getting married so young, that comes with a lot of outside opinions.
Oh, yeah.
How did y'all navigate that?
That was a rough topic, or not rough topic, but that was a hard time, because in this world we see the divorce rate is somewhere hovering around the 50% area, and people see it. Everyone has their own opinion on when you should get married.
Yeah.
Whether it's 30, or late 20s, or mid 30s, whenever it is, everyone has their own opinion, and it's factored on their understanding of when they got married and the mistakes they made. And they think, okay, the older you get, the more wisdom you have, everything in that nature. But I'll flip the question and the topic on you, with you understanding. I mean, you're pretty young, and you know you want to get married to Mystery at some point, and some point in the next 5-10 years or something similar to that. And you want to make it happen. You're pretty young, but it's really just about praying about it. God, is this the woman you have for me? And waiting to hear an answer from him. And then after that, outside information can't really stop you from what the Lord says. If the Lord says yes, and you know what his voice sounds like, nothing can stop you from that.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I know it was one exact moment. So there was one moment that, like, it was so small and so ignorant. I can't say this word. The braces. It was so small and insignificant.
There you go.
But to me and myself and in my heart, I knew that was it. Like, that was it. Like that, and it was so small and insignificant that everyone else would have overlooked it. But for me, it was something that caught my attention so well that I was like, oh, that's it. Like, it's wraps. And that doesn't mean it's always going to be an easy day.
Of course.
It's not going to be, you're not always going to be in the right mindset. You're not always going to be thinking with the Holy Spirit. You're going to be thinking with your flesh. And that's just, that's just one of the things that we have on this earth, we live with. And there's nothing wrong with it, because you got to have, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to have this to have that, and that for that. It's like, it's one of those two things. But yeah, no, I definitely wish I had less flesh inside of me, because I know I would be happier.
We'd probably still get those spiritual attacks, but yeah, it would be, overall, you wouldn't have those terrible mistakes and the terrible guilt that comes after it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, all around in any of the relationships I feel like we've been in over the years, because we're getting up there in age.
No, that's a word though, dude.
What?
There was a couple weeks ago, I was like, dude, I'm 23 years old. Like, the average age, I'm in my head now.
Oh, okay.
I hear it all. The average age is 86 or 82, somewhere in that 80 range is the average when you're gonna pass away. And I was like, I'm about a quarter done with my life, and that's crazy.
Yeah, we're almost 25. Well, no, I keep it easy, because I feel like the way everything is going, we're gonna live longer. We just are. Something is gonna happen, and we're gonna live longer. I'm not a prophet. I'm not prophesizing anything, but I personally believe that I think there's gonna be something that changes us in the beginning. Yeah, something along those lines in the beginning that's gonna be better. It's going to be better in the beginning, and then over time, it's going to be something that affects us. But I definitely think the average age is going to go up. So I always assume we live till 100. So just because it's easy, it's simple math. I've lived 23% of my life.
Well, I remember 22 because
Oh yeah, my whoop, 22.8. But yeah, so like, there's two ways you can think about it. Wow, I'm almost to a quarter of my life spent. Or I still have, 75% of my life left to learn, to grow, to understand, to be able to understand scripture without anyone's interpretation of it. Like, you truly have that relationship that your faith is so strong that you have no doubts about anything.
That's another thing I've been really doing in my quiet time. Just reading the word and not trying to understand every little bit and understand the history of everything, which I don't think is a bad thing. But I've noticed myself, I'll read one chapter of Genesis, which is the book I'm on now, and
The beginning. No, I'm just messing with you.
No. And I'll read a chapter, and then I'm like, okay, what did this mean? What is this? What is the history in this? And I'll find myself on YouTube somehow, just looking at other stuff. And I'm like, how did this happen? So I'll just going down the rat race, just figuring out other stuff. But I turn the phone off and I just read. And if I don't understand something, I'll ask Siri for a definition of this. But other than that, I'm like, let me just have the great counselor, the Holy Spirit, speak to me and tell me what's going on.
If he's been able to translate things from burning bushes, I think he can translate something to you. It's just a matter of having patience with it. Because, I feel like you're not always going to get what you want when you want it. I mean, it's God's way. There's really no, there's no filters, there's no fake anything. It's just when it happens, And the more you grow in building that relationship, the more you know. Like, for example, with your dad, all right? The older you got, the more you could understand, like, how your dad talks, how your dad's synonyms are, how he walks around, how he stands. And, you could mimic him. You know what I'm saying? And just stuff like that.
That's a word. Keep going.
Keep going.
I like that.
But yeah, it's like, there's so many things that you could analyze and learn. I don't know.
From the Lord.
Yeah, from the Lord. I mean, it's just one of those things. Oh, sorry. I froze and I actually lost my train of thought, but you got me back. So it's like, all right, over time, the older you get, you understand how people are, okay? And you learn how to communicate with them. Like, for example, let's just say we all have that late friend. You probably have a friend that's always late. So what do you do now? You text them an hour earlier time so he gets there on time.
Wait a minute. That's the taboo. You were asking earlier in the podcast. What's the I guess the change, the culture?
Oh, not being on time.
I just saw that.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's just like, so once you're around that person, you're gonna understand how they are. And if you're not in the Word, how do you know who they are? I mean, as simple as that. If you don't go, now this is gonna bounce back into the dating question. How do you know when that person's the right person if you guys don't date, you guys don't do anything with emotion? This is probably one of the hardest things that a person can have, faith. Because if you have faith in the Lord and you have faith in the Word of God, how can you doubt His ability to bring you something that you want?
Oh, exactly. And disclosure, we're not saying you meet the first person on the street.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Coop, what is the biggest way God has stretched your idea of love?
It's going to sound corny, but it is true. Marriage, I guess, is the easiest way to answer that and to dive in. And I know I'm spinning my wheels here saying the same exact thing over and over again, but it really shows me how selfish I am and shows me how to love and how the Lord loves me and how I need to reciprocate that love to my wife. And I'm saying all these things that sounds like I'm not this good person at loving it, but I I guess for the
Yeah.
podcast, we're saying the bad things,
Yeah.
the harder things, because it's so much easier to talk about the easier things.
Oh yeah, life is good. I get we make breakfast together every morning. You know.
Oh, it's easy, yeah.
Yeah, of course we could always talk about the good, but most of the time people know the good. They want to know the bad. They want to understand it. Because, if you're me, I rather learn and understand from a friend's perspective than some random person or like some random old person. You know what I'm saying? But like one of the things that Bryce does that I really enjoy is he always asks his married guest on his show marriage advice. All right. Since, marriage might be, without giving too much information away, in the chance that she, watches this all the way through. She'll usually watch like a good amount and then she's got other things to do, which isn't a big deal. Yeah. What is one piece of advice that you would give me that if I was your little brother and came up and told you and it was something important and not oblivious, like out in the open, like, when you see marriage, you see communication, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is one thing for you?
That was a good one.
Yeah, communication, because that's talked about in relationships, like everything wise, like communication all the way down to the Bible. How to communicate to God through reading the word and understanding it, processing it and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I won't take the cop-out answer of communication, even though I really kind of want to, just to emphasize how serious communication actually is. And let me go on my little tangent here.
All right,
communication.
go ahead.
But it's not just that, hey, how was your day today? Or what are you struggling with now? But it's that openness and that, hey, we're on the same page. You're Ariana, I'm Cooper. Hey, we're on that same page. We're that one flesh. We're sticking together through it all. And because that communication brings you guys together and meshes you together. But without talking about communication, I would say really just being able to adapt to one another and kind of be on the same page with one another. And going back to not living with someone, and you're going to have a lot of different changes when Mystery moves in and you see her every morning for the good. It's so awesome to wake up next to somebody and to know that you don't have to go drop them off at home, or they don't have to drop you back off at home. You can drive them to work, or they can drop you off at work, and you guys can cook meals together. That's such an awesome thing. But at the same time, you're going to have to find that, hey, I need a little bit of my own space right now. I need to spend my time with the Lord right now, reading the Word. You also will have your time to read the Word together and grow in the Lord together. But that time of, hey, I need a little bit of time apart, not leaving, but going in a separate room. Hey, let me spend some time with the Lord. Let me spend some time with my friends. Kind of that little bit of change.
Finding the balance.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's good. Oh, so remembering to find the balance between it all.
Yeah.
You would say. Okay. No, that's good. And I feel like the more serious Mystery and I have gotten, the more that we just kind of do our own thing together. Like if we want to go do something, we'll go do it. And then, this is going to be bad, but I'm going to say it anyways. Like, because you probably do this too. You, like, let's say, all right, for an example, I go to the gym. Since I go to the gym almost every morning at 4:30, I have to go to bed earlier.
Right.
So if Mr. and I want to go to the gym in the morning, we got to go to bed earlier. Usually, once I get off work, we have about 3 hours or so before we got to, go home, go wherever to our respective areas and go to sleep. So, if we don't find that something is, worth it to make the drive or go do the thing, we won't. And, dude, honestly, being able to freely have that of like having no pressure because you're already with the person you want to be with the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like, since there's no pressure, it's not like, Yeah, I mean, there's no pressure. Like, the pressure is taken off of the FOMO. You know what I'm saying?
Time wasted.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, yeah.
Because, like, I could go out and go hang out with all these people and be out till 8 o'clock and be in bed by 9, but that's, like, so much work. Like, I don't want to do that all the time. And before not being in a relationship, I had, like, a totally different mindset. And now I'm content, I'm comfortable, and I really enjoy just us hanging out. And you want to find time to hang out, both just hanging out, like watching a show or something, and then also finding the quality time. I also think that's very important. Doing, trips together, doing hobbies together, whatever that may be. If it's the gym, if it's swimming, if it's going to the beach, if it's wakeboarding. I mean, it could be anything, but figure out what you two can do together to accomplish a goal. That's probably one of the biggest things that I have recently found that brings me the most joy is being with Mystery and just finding things that we can do together. Like, one of the things that I want to start taking up is actually running, because Mystery likes to run, but I don't like to run at all. But if I know that I want to be with her more, I'm going to have to learn how to run because she likes to run. Or it's like, for us to spend a little more of the day with each other, that's why we go to the gym in the morning now. So we can start our day hanging out with each other, just getting our mind right, blasting, Forrest Frank, Brant, like we go to the gym together, we do that, we work out together. And it's just so much more fun than worrying about what all the boys are doing, And I know that's terrible to say, because there's definitely days that I want to hang out with the boys, but at the same time, like, as we get older, Cooper, like, we gotta realize we gotta provide. We gotta go out. We gotta accomplish stuff. A, for God, and then also B, our future family.
Yeah, I think it's also, I mean, kind of what you're talking about a little bit is the love languages, and figuring out what your love languages are, so you can provide that information and know for yourself, provide it to your wife, and also figuring out what her love languages are so you can provide those. And I've noticed a lot of the time they don't match up. The way I give love is I do gifts and acts of service, and I say, hey, I want to help you out with this. And what I've noticed she really wants.
Same.
That's awesome. What I noticed what she really
wants
is that quality time, and that,
yes,
hey, just sit down with me. And I'm like, we were watching a movie, and I didn't learn this for the longest time. She's like, hey, I want to spend time with you. I'm like,
we're watching a movie.
Like, right now, are we doing that? It confused me so bad.
Yes, bro. I know exactly what you're saying.
That's a thing that guys are a little oblivious to. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. That's why, honestly, I got the couch up here. So, at the end of the day, like, when we're both off work and she comes over, and if we're going to cook dinner or go do something, like, we can just sit on the couch and for like an hour just decompress, debrief, just talk about our days and truly talk to one another. And that's, like, another reason why I got the couch, and that's also super helpful because I'm listening. I'm staying distracted. I'm fleeing from stuff, you know what I mean? And, it's great. It's truly great because I'm in the same boat as you. I know for sure my love language is giving, is providing, is being the one that's like, oh, you want something? I bet. Right, take the card. Put it on my tab. You know what I'm saying? And I truly enjoy that because for me, I didn't see a lot of that growing up. And that was one thing that I told myself I always wanted to do, was to provide. And I'm not saying my parents didn't provide, but, they're growing and learning just as much as we are at any age. And, there were times that we didn't have stuff. And I'm not saying I'm ungrateful of anything or anything of the sort, but I feel like for me, that was just one of the things. I just wanted to be the one that's different, that's different, that's successful, if you would, or I just want to be the motivated one. I want to be the hustler. I want to be able to see my works be doing good. You know what I'm saying? I know that sentence right there is incorrect, but, like, I want to know that my time and energy is working out through providing for someone.
Yeah, my parents always grew up telling me they want me to be better than them, taller than them, greater than them. And I didn't really understand that for a little bit, but that's exactly, I mean, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I want to be better than them, and I want to be able to help out more and provide more and essentially love more. I mean, I guess is a better way of saying it. I want to be able to do more.
And you know what's crazy, Coop? I can tell. Because my parents told me the same thing. And it wasn't, oh, actually, dang. All right. That got me thinking. What kind of parent style do you want to have?
That's something I've even thought about a while, and I'll turn the question a little bit too. About,
do you want to be the friendly parent, or do you want to be like dad? Like, I'm friends, with my kids kind of thing? Or like where do you feel like you sit with that?
I think it's going to be easier for me to not have that friendly, still be friendly, but not have that, like, hey, my kid is my friend, because I see the problems that come with that, where it's now, hey, let's do this together. Let's do this bad thing together or whatever, instead of, hey, we need to have some leadership, some chain of command here, and you're going to get some consequences and stuff. And
yeah,
I see it more like that, but I guess there's, helicopter and then something else is the other one. You heard of this?
Oh, it's like all right, so there's I feel like there's 3 types.
Tell me.
All right, there's a parent, which is a parent, that takes care of their kids, does everything a parent would normally. Then I think there's obviously helicopter parents that are like too much involved, and there is some trauma in the parents that they feel like, I feel like with that it's either 2 things. They're like overly worried that something's going to happen, and then the other version of a helicopter parent is living through the child.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third one is an adult with a kid. You know what I mean? Like, those. Like, there's decent amount of people that are like, oh, it's a parent with a kid. I mean, an adult with a kid. And like, are you going to be the type of parent that's an iPad kid that has iPad kids?
I don't know. And I'm a very big planner. So I fly with guys who are 40, 50, and I ask them what they've thought about phones. I haven't asked them about iPads because that's a whole different story, but phones. And I have a friend who I flew with who kids are 12 and 10 or something, and they're asking for a phone. And he's like, no, not until he said till they're 18, which is tough. But I really respect that, because as we can see how much good, but also how terrible the phones.
Oh, I mean, phone, internet, any electronic device. Any electronic device.
And
I mean, honestly.
Bullying, all that kind of things.
Is what?
Cyberbullying.
Oh, cyberbullying, the AI image stuff. Like, dude, there's so much. There's so much good, and then there's so much bad. Personally, for me, I would probably be like 14 or 15. But hear me out. If they still make them like the little track phones that all they can do is call.
Okay, here's the problem though. I asked someone about that, and so here's what he did. He started with a watch. He started with like a kid watch, whatever, that could make phone calls or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Once it broke or expired, whatever, I don't remember the whole story. It was the same exact price as the Apple Watch, or the Apple Watch was a little bit cheaper. And think about it, some kid watch, probably $20 in China, whatever, they can make a call.
Yeah.
The Apple Watch was should have been more expensive, but it wasn't. But they try and get you. So he's like, oh, we'll get the Apple Watch. It's a little bit cheaper too. Give him a little more functions, and then you just keep getting more, and you keep getting more, and And he was like, man, I bit the trap. Or I fell into the trap.
So for you, it's probably gonna be 18.
I don't know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be something that I need to pray on. But there's so many times where I jump ahead of myself and I plan way too hard, and it gets me in trouble with the Lord.
Okay. Hey, thank you for the honesty. Yeah. No, I don't know, because like in my house, anything fun, anything extra I wanted, I had to go out and earn it. Either doing the dishes, doing the yard, or umpiring Little League at like 14. Like all the side quests I did as a kid. Like, from 15 to 18, like all the little side quests to make money. Because that was one of the things that my parents were like, look, I'm not going to give you everything. I'm not giving you everything. I gave you a house. I gave you education.
Nice AC.
AC, exactly. And, you got clothes, you're fed. And, everything I had was nice. Like, nothing was, well, since I'm the only boy in the family, I'm kind of fortunate. I didn't get hand-me-downs, But, yeah, it was just, like, one of those things that, like, I feel like, yeah, they were just like, if I wanted a phone, I had to go out and earn it. So I got one at, like, 16, 17 maybe. And it was the iPhone XR.
I don't even remember that. Wow.
Huh?
I don't even remember that phone.
Oh, no, I take that back. That was the first brand new phone I bought. The first phone I bought was a 7 or an 8 Plus because it still had the home button.
Oh, wow.
And then before that, and then I had the iPod Touch in, like, red. You remember the iPod Touches with the little, like, black circle on the back of it? I think those were, like, the 5th generation. I don't remember. But, yeah, no. It was, but, yeah, I mean.
Going back into it, though, jumping back into the marriage topic, what have you learned? You asked me this question. I want to ask you it. What have you learned through your aspect of dating that you could teach other people?
Man, that's a hard one. Not every day is a good day, but every day is a good day.
Okay, explain.
So, the days that I feel the worst are when I'm separated from God.
Agreed.
It's the same way with mystery. And I feel like I truly need both of those in my life. And if I don't have both of those in my life, I feel like I'm missing something. So it's very important to understand what you have and find the love that you have in those relationships.
Oh, that's good. That's a word.
All right. I was hoping.
I like that.
What you know what, Coop? We'll wrap up with this. What are some of your habits that you feel like help keep your marriage rooted in Jesus?
I think just back to the basics of reading the word together, and again, what we talked about or what I mentioned a little bit earlier, that love triangle of growing towards him and understanding the armor of God and the sword of the Spirit, which is his word, and that's the only thing we can use to fight against the enemy. Know that the enemy doesn't like marriage because it is a relationship that is honoring to Christ and glorifies Christ and God through that sacrifice and through everything that you guys are doing and are about. But really just praying and understanding that my strength has to come from the Lord to keep it together and that it has to be that glue. And there'll be so many times where I'll try and force stuff on my own, and I feel like God just laughs sometimes because it just doesn't work. And it's kind of crazy that there's seriously those times where I'll try and force something the best way I know how to do it. Or I guess, for example, what I've been learning in a gym concept, the best way for me to go work out is do it at around 2 o'clock after 2 meals, after drinking a pre-workout drink, spacing out, you know what I'm saying? All the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, schedule for everything.
Yeah.
But what I've really learned is spending my quiet time with God in the morning and just honoring what he says. And if he says to go do this and do this before the gym or after the gym, even though I think it's going to affect my mindset or whatever going to the gym, that's the better way to do it because he knows my heart, he knows my mind better than I do, and he's going to be able to tell me what's best for me.
No, that's good. That makes me happy to hear. No, it really does. Do you think, and we'll wrap up, no, that was really good. That was really good. Do you feel like, money matters in the relationship?
Yes, but not in the way you're thinking of. A lot of marriages end because of money.
Yeah.
And say one's a big spender, one's not a big spender. I don't think that's a problem. I think you actually opened up a can of worms that I like to talk about. One, that there's got to be a certain kind of list of questions that either you ask straight up or you figure out about your partner. One of those being like figuring out, do you spend a lot or do you not spend a lot? Are you more frugal or do you like to have the nice things and spend a little bit more? Which I don't think either way is bad, but if you guys are on different polar opposites of that and you can't figure it out, then you know what I mean? Like there's got to be a certain list of questions and things that you really have to figure out.
Yeah, because it's not bad until it consumes you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I feel like as a godly person, a Jesus lover, that you're supposed to work hard. You're supposed to make a nice income. I really think that, because if you're honoring to the Lord, you'll be rewarded.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not financially, but
not in everything. I mean, it could be in faith, love, acts.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things, but I feel like as a good provider, a good husband, you are supposed to provide. And I think as long as you two are on the same mindset about it, I think it's okay. But I think you need to, here we go, communicate. Communicate in a way that you and your partner understand where you guys want to sit at. Because I know there's plenty of people out there that want, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. This is my garage, Lamborghini, Ferrari. In the garage, they want a 12, bedroom house. And if you want that, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, just make sure that you and your partner see eye to eye financially and physically,
Exactly, because if not, one's going to be at home who's the frugal person saying, well, why is this person spending all of my money when it's not your money? At the same time, you guys are probably both sharing an income.
Yeah.
And it's the Lord's money you're really managing. So it's not your money, but then the other person out spending money is going to be like, well, why does this person not want to come along? Why does my husband or wife not want to come along with me and have fun, like spending some money and hanging out and enjoying life and stuff like that? So it's going to be a lot of that. And when we have that mentality, and the enemy is going to shoot the arrows and attack that. So
oh, yeah. No, 100%.
It's going to be...
And especially when I feel like you're on the verge of growth, like a revelation you're about to have with the Lord, I feel like that's when the most stuff hits you. So the devil is hoping that like you missed that one arrow that he's throwing all these darts at you, right? Imagine they're all flame darts. And the goal is to catch one, and that will solve the problem. So he's trying to throw as many as you can to distract you so you miss the golden one. Like in Harry Potter, the gold one.
Oh, yeah, the Quidditch ball.
What is it called? Do you know?
I don't know if it's called that or not.
Whatever it's called. The game's called Quidditch, you're right. Whatever the little ball is that's worth the game, the goal shouldn't be just that. It should be able, to score and to work as a team and to, understand each other.
It's called Flappy Bird.
The golden Flappy Bird. All right. Well, Coop, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for
I think this is a good stopping point. I think we learned a lot. Hopefully you guys out there watching learned a lot and listening. This has been the Rest Up Podcast, episode 30. I cannot believe, once again, we've done 30 of these things. So thank you guys so much for being here, just being a part of the community. If you guys are new and you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. You guys know what to do, and we'll see you next week. Love y'all. Peace.